Hello all, welcome back to the web series on the embedded systems. So in the previous series we have talked more about the component level on the capacitors and all. So now in this this is more targeted for the freshers where they enter the industry. So like if you see for an engineer, to understand a circuit design, how to design, the basic thing required is the data sheet. So data sheet is like a shot in the arm for engineer to attack a circuit design. So the basic requirement is that he has to understand the data sheet and design the circuit. That is the most important thing. So now today we will see how a data sheet can be read, how to understand a data sheet basically. So now the first thing is, for any system, whether or any device or a simple component, a capacitor, basically it will have an input, it does something in between, and it provides the output. That is the basic thing. Any component, any system, any device if you take. So now the input could be the excitation for that, which is a power supply. So some voltage is required for anything to operate. That is what we are talking about, a power supply here. And there will be definitely a signal input. The signal could be a analog digital, which means there is a continuous varying signal, or a digital signal which will have levels, fixed levels. And then it could be a voltage input, it could be a current input. And then when we talk about input here, definitely there will be some impedance here. And then we talk about the fan-in. Fan-in is like a number of inputs that can be connected to a system. So these are all the simple input characteristics that we talk, and there will be a detailed description of this. So we have listed few things to give you an idea what could be the input of a particular system or a component or a device. Now what does a component, device or a system do? It either processes a signal or just passes the signal as is. So when it passes the signal, definitely there will be some resistance associated with this. Because of that, there will be some power drop, and then this power drop causes the temperature to rise. So how much temperature rises for a particular component depends on the thermal resistance of it. And then you will definitely have some inductance, capacitance associated with that system. Whether the inductance or the capacitance, whether you are seeing at the input, output, or a signal that is being processed in the device sees those particular parameters. Now when it comes to the output, there will be a signal output. Definitely when you give a input, the output would be another signal. Again, it could be a voltage, current, it could be analog signal, it could be digital signal, and then again you will connect this output to some other system. Definitely the impedance characteristics are associated here. Now, and again, fan out. Fan out is like number of outputs that you can connect to this. So we are talking about input, processing, and output. So this is how I would like people to understand, so that it would be easy for a fresher to know what is happening in the system. And then when we go further, let us take an example of 741, where it is a op-amp, simple op-amp. Many academics use it, and the professionals also use that. So for that particular 741 op-amp, when you are using it, and then when we are saying there are inputs, there are outputs, definitely to connect those inputs and outputs, there are pins associated with it. The pins are what facilitates you to connect your inputs and take the outputs for that particular IC. Now that is called the pinout. So you see the pinout from the data sheet here. You can definitely categorize what is input and what is output. I is input, O is output. So we'll look in detail further and see